I'm Ben Meiselas with the MeidasTouch network. Donald Trump is going on his social media platform, posting over and over and over again. By the time of this recording, I think there was about 38 posts in the past 24 hours on Donald Trump's social media platform. And look, there's a reason why people have a right to remain silent who are being criminally investigated or criminally charged for this precise reason. And not only is Donald Trump not availing himself of that right, but he's engaging in further criminal conduct, further obstructive conduct, threatening special counsel Jack Smith and Jack Smith's family. And Donald Trump is also confessing to the crimes for which he's charged: willful retention of national defense information, conspiracy, obstruction of justice, making false statements. And take a look at this post that he made. This is all in caps, and I always say this, and I'll repeat it again here. If you had a family member, friend, coworker, colleague, just somebody that you knew on social media posting things like this, you would probably say they need to be detained on an involuntary psychological hold. That's how just insane some of this stuff is. But look, the more he talks, the more evidence he builds against him. And surely special counsel Jack Smith will be showing this at trial. Like this post where Donald Trump says that all of those documents are his and he wants it returned to him. This is his post. He goes, all in caps, "So now that everyone understands that the Presidential Records Act plus the Clinton Sox case totally exonerated me from the continuing witch hunt brought by corrupt Joe Biden, the DOJ, deranged Jack Smith, and their radical left Marxist thugs, when are they going to drop all charges against me, apologize, and return everything that was illegally taken, Fourth Amendment, from my home? This was nothing other than election interference, and it's all projection, everything that Donald Trump states. The search warrant executed at Mar-a-Lago on August 8, 2022 was signed off by the magistrate judge, Bruce Reinhart, in the Southern District of Florida, that a finding was made that there was probable cause that Donald Trump at that point in time was engaged in criminal conduct, and the Department of Justice uncovered thousands of government records that Donald Trump lied about, including top secret records, classified records, sensitive compartmented information. We're talking about the highest level of protected national security documents. And from the indictment, because here at the MeidasTouch network and the Meidas Mighty community, we read the filings. There are text messages from Donald Trump's aides. There are photographs. There are transcriptions of recordings with Donald Trump on them, where his betrayal to our nation and these classified documents that he held, just showing them to random people, saying, haha, isn't this great? Don't I win? Aren't I better than Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley? All of this is nothing short of the utmost traitorousness and unlawful acts against our country, and exposing our national security secrets to third parties and hostile nations that should never have access to him. And then notice what he says here. He says, return everything, everything. So Donald Trump's argument here, he's admitting to it right here, that he took these records and he's saying that the classified records are his. He's saying, mine, these top secret sensitive compartmented information, these national security documents, these top secret records, they belong to me. And he is absolutely 100% wrong about that. And then they talk about this Clinton Sox case, and I won't belabor the point because I've mentioned it a lot here on the MeidasTouch network, but that was a case that one of Donald Trump's closest allies, a guy named Tom Fitton, who is not a lawyer, he's the guy who wears those really tight shirts. He filed a lawsuit like in 2011 or 2012 against the National Archives, demanding an injunction for the National Archives to then compel former President Bill Clinton to turn over notes that he took in connection with preparing his personal autobiography. And in that case, federal judge Amy Berman Jackson in the D.C. federal court said, number one, I don't have jurisdiction. Tom Fitton, a private citizen, can't file a motion for injunctive relief 10 years later, compelling the National Archives to do anything. And then in any event, Judge Amy Berman Jackson said personal notes, like handwritten notes or handwritten audio recordings about a personal autobiography, that could meet the classification of personal. Bill Clinton didn't steal classified records. He didn't steal military maps. He didn't steal national briefings. These were Bill Clinton's personal notes. So the Sachs case is not only not precedent, it's not persuasive authority. In fact, it is persuasive authority in the opposite direction, that Donald Trump stealing these records are completely unlawful because they're not personal records. And Donald Trump's point that he makes when he cites this Sachs case, which, by the way, again, is not a circuit court decision, it's not a Supreme Court decision, so it's not even precedent for anything, and it's in Washington, D.C., not in Florida. In that case, again, we're dealing with personal notes. And so Donald Trump claims that personal notes of Bill Clinton are just like him stealing classified records. So if Bill Clinton can say his personal notes are personal, Donald Trump should say all of our top secret records are his. And again, that's just not what the law is. That's not what the Presidential Records Act says. And the crimes here are brought under the Espionage Act: willful retention of national defense information, conspiracy, and obstruction of justice.
This is sponsored by Blue Chew. Let's talk about sex. Guys, remember the days when you were always ready to go? Now you can increase your performance and get that extra confidence in bed. Listen up, BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. The best part, it's all done online, so no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in discreet packaging. Does it work? Don't think you need it? Try it free for a month and see. You're gonna love it. You could be missing out on the best lovemaking of your life. With Blue Chew, men everywhere are excited to see the postman. Why? Because when your package has arrived, your package has arrived. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. Chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code Meidas at checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code Meidas to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this.
Here's Donald Trump's next post. He goes, after going through a criminal investigation for 2 years by the district attorney's office in Westchester County, New York, it was just announced that the case has been dropped and no charges will be filed. This was the honorable thing to do, in that I did nothing wrong, but where and when do I get my reputation back? When will the other fake cases against me be dropped? Election interference, exclamation point, exclamation point. And ultimately, the reason that the case was dropped is that there was determined to be overlapping jurisdiction with the New York Attorney General Letitia James case, which is set to go to trial on October 2nd of 2023, where she's seeking at least $250 million and injunctive relief to stop Donald Trump and his adult children and the Trump Organization from conducting business in the state of New York. And by the time the case goes before a jury, I would expect Attorney General Letitia James to seek probably in the billions of dollars in damages. So this case in Westchester County over the valuation of Trump golf courses and how Donald Trump would claim that he had paying members there who paid $200,000 a year when they didn't, that's not dismissed on the merits. It's just a jurisdictional issue where New York Attorney General Letitia James will be the one handling that in her civil case. So again, more lives by him. Here's the next post. Donald Trump writes, John Kelly pretended to be a tough guy. By the way, John Kelly, Donald Trump's former chief of staff. John Kelly pretended to be a tough guy, but was actually weak and ineffective, born with a very small, and he puts this in quote, brain. He had a hard time functioning in a political world and was truly an exhausted and beaten man when I fired him. In the end, he was a mummy who sat in his office and stared at the ceiling. He was shot. I'll never forget how his very nice wife told me that, quote, John loves you and respects you more than anyone. He will always say the best things about you. Oh, well, so much for that. And of course, Donald Trump always brings people's wives and family members into things. Donald Trump is responding to this because John Kelly gave an interview where he said Trump is scared shitless. This is the way he compensates for that. He gives people the appearance he doesn't care by doing this. This is what John Kelly, Trump's former chief of staff, said about Donald Trump regarding the indictment brought by special counsel Jack Smith. And, throughout these posts, you have Donald Trump attacking his former chief of staff, John Kelly. You have Donald Trump attacking his former attorney general, Bill Barr, and calling him a gutless pig. You have Donald Trump attacking his former national security advisor, John Bolton, calling him an idiot, and other disparaging names. Like, these are all people who he hires. And so when he tells you, well, he hires the best, and then he tells you everybody he hires is an idiot, it's pretty clear that the issue is him. Here's the next post that Donald Trump makes. He goes, indictment must be immediately withdrawn by Injustice Department with apology, exclamation point. And again, he's posting Judicial Watch, the group led by Tom Fitton, who's not a lawyer. And Tom Fitton does not know the law here. And this is who Donald Trump relies on for advice because it justifies Donald Trump's unlawful conduct. And here is what Judicial Watch, again, led by someone who's not a lawyer, never went to law school, says the following. The Presidential Records Act allows president to decide what records to return and what records to keep at the end of his presidency. And the National Archives and Records Administration can't do anything about it, which is just completely and utterly false. Compare Donald Trump's legal team with Jim Trustee leaving, with Trump's other kind of main lawyers leaving the team. He's relying on Tom Fitton. And then the Department of Justice has the top espionage criminal lawyers and the top overall national defense lawyers in the country on special counsel Jack Smith's team. We know the team is Jack Smith, Jay Bratt, Julie Edelstein, Karen Gilbert, and David Harbach. You don't get more knowledgeable than that group of 5 people who are on the core team in special counsel Jack Smith's criminal case against Donald Trump. And Donald Trump's getting advice from Tom Fitton, who lost this case, who refers to it as a Clinton Sox case. He doesn't even know what the term precedent means because district court cases are not precedential, and it's not even persuasive because it says the exact opposite of what the point Donald Trump's trying to make. And so, and of course, I think the most powerful one is the first post that he makes where he says, not only do I demand an apology, but I want you to return all of the classified information to me. Slam dunk, smoking gun, intent, right there. Game over. Game over. If you found this in an electronic discovery search and there was a text message of Donald Trump saying something like that, you would say, well, that was a smoking gun document. And so just because Donald Trump does these things in open and obvious ways doesn't make it less of a smoking gun when he admits to the crimes in public. I know large media networks don't want to report it that way, but that's just the truth. And for example, when Donald Trump said when he was running for office back in 2016, Russia, 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 if you are listening, I want you to hack into my political opponent's emails and dump those emails. Imagine if that was in an email that Donald Trump sent. So the fact that he says it publicly doesn't make it any less of a smoking gun. We should always remember that, and that's why we're going to highlight these things here on the MeidasTouch Network. I'm Ben Meiselas. Have a great day. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1.5 million subscribers thanks to your support. Check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch, and wherever you get audio podcasts, subscribe to the MeidasTouch podcast. Hit subscribe on our YouTube channel right now, and have a fantastic day.
At MeidasTouch, we are unapologetically pro-democracy, and we demand justice and accountability. That's why we're spreading our message to Convict 45. That's right, gear up right now with your Convict 45 tees and pins at store.meidastouch.com. That's store.meidastouch.com.